Hey, how are y'all doing this rising? I am your host, Plum Queen, and this is Tell True Vision Social Media Live. All right, I'm going to get right on into it. I'm going to put out my disclaimer. Black women, I love you. Single mothers, I love you. I promise you, I am not here to offend, even though I know that you will. But this is about growth, and this is about us being better, and this is about, you know what I'm saying, the future, you know what I'm saying, future changes, things that are better for our kids, children that are going to take care of you. So hear me out. Okay, so yesterday I reposted a post that says, single moms, don't go bashing your baby daddies, you know what I'm saying, on Father's Day, because you picked them and you need to hold yourself accountable. Well, it pretty much said you should be mad at yourself. It was kind of rude. But I agree 100%, which is why I reposted it. And I had a few people to either hit me up in my inbox or to comment on that post, you know what I'm saying, with frustration, because they felt, you know what I'm saying, that that was the wrong thing to say, that they have a right to feel how they feel and they have a right to express that. And I understand, totally agree. Everyone has a right to their perspective. Everybody, has their story. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, has what they got going on. And can't nobody take that from you. Grand Rising Clarence, how you doing? Okay. But we have to stop, as people in general, have to stop blaming other people and holding ourselves accountable for our choices. I understand growing up, you know what I'm saying, especially the two generations up. Life was a little different, the way the world works, you know what I'm saying, the way men and women are perceived, the roles, you know what I'm saying, in the household, in the community, period, have all changed. Okay. And we as individuals have to start moving with that change. Okay. I am an advocate for people. My name is Plump Queen. The Plump is an acronym for Powerful Ladies United Making Progress. That's what that means. What it doesn't mean is that I hate men or fuck men or I'm a feminist or something like that. That's not what that means. Okay? I am about our communities. I'm about family. Okay? Just like I am a black woman, my brothers are black men. My father is a black man. My grandfather was a black man. You see what I'm saying? So there is no way that I can uplift myself by stepping on them. It doesn't work. Single moms, y'all are raising boys, y'all are raising black men. Your son is going to be a black man one day. So when you speak ill, you know what I'm saying, of the man that you chose to lay down with and have children with, you are basically, honestly, you're talking about yourself and your son. You cannot separate the two. I'm sorry, ladies. You can't. When you speak ill of your baby daddy, you are speaking ill of yourself because you laid down with them. There was something about that man at some point that you attracted him. You liked him enough to lay down and give him your body. We got to start holding ourselves accountable. Pregnancy is 100% preventable. We are not in the times like my grandmother. My grandmother grew up thinking that babies came from a stalk in a black bag. That's what my grandmother thought until she had her first child. That's what she was taught. We know now where children come from. And we now have plenty of contraceptives. There are plenty of methods for you to enjoy yourself sexually and not bring children into this world. Ladies, you cannot keep blaming dudes for your choices. I'm sorry. There were always red flags there. You knew that nigga wasn't shit. You knew he was doing this. You knew you felt something in there. You knew there was something. But because of whatever the reason is, insecurities, wanting to be loved, you know what I'm saying, thinking that having a baby is going to, you know what I'm saying, going to keep him or is going to keep you. So you make choices. Having a baby is not, I can't express that enough. Children are forever. Once you had that child, they're not going nowhere, and you are forever connected to that man. I don't care if they move to Africa. I don't care if they live across the street. I don't care if y'all never speak to each other again. You are forever connected to that individual because you had that child. So maybe we need to start thinking and start using discernment a lot more when we're picking the people that we're going to deal with. You know that having sex leads to children. We all know that. You know that. So you cannot act all, you know what I'm saying, all innocent, talking about, oh, you know what I'm saying, I'm in a bond, I'm this. You put yourself there. You got bills to pay. You got, you know what I'm saying, got this, that, and the third. You knew that before you laid down. I know women who done had kids simply because they don't want more than one baby daddy. You think it looks a certain way for you to have more than one child from different people. So you go and you have more children or multiple children with an individual that you know is not good for you, but you do it anyway. You got to do better. You got to hold yourself accountable for that. If you weren't raped, that is your responsibility. We all know as women that we're the ones who have to carry that child. It takes two to tango, but you are responsible for carrying that child. That's just what it is. You can't say, oh, it takes two and you're supposed to. It's not about there's a lot of shit in this world that's supposed to be a certain way, and it ain't. So the fact of the matter is, there's an 80% chance if you have a baby with the wrong person that you're going to be the one taking care of it. So knowing that, you make a choice. You play Russian roulette every time you lay down with somebody that you don't know. Have to hold yourself accountable for that. This is why I say getting married, you know what I'm saying, after 2 years, you know what I'm saying, that's unintelligent. Thinking that just because you with somebody 2-3 years or something like that, that means you know them. No, you don't. People change. People wear really great masks in the beginning. We don't do enough recon with the people that we choose to sleep with. If you knew that man had mental issues, would you have slept with him? If you knew that man had felonies, would you have slept with him? If you know that man had a really bad relationship with their mom, got mommy or daddy issues, if you knew that and knew the extent of it, would you have slept with that person? That's the stuff you got to think about before you sleep with that person. That's what the dating phase is about. That's what courting is about. So you can actually get to know the person that you are going to sleep with. Like my dad, my biological father, has mental issues. all up and down, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying his bloodline. My grandfather had mental issues. All of his sisters have mental issues. Some of their kids have mental issues. My 19-year-old mother didn't know that when she laid down with him. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm blessed. That didn't affect me. But that wasn't the smartest decision that my mom made. Having a baby with a man that she did not know had mental issues. That could have went a whole nother way. I could be a whole nother person because of that decision. Yes, she was young. Not blaming her. My mama know I love her. All that good stuff. But the reality is she didn't do the proper research because she made that decision based off of her emotions and not off of logic. She came from an abusive home. So she was trying to find love. She was trying to get away from that. That's why she made the decision that she made. And that's what a lot of us women do. We make these decisions based off our emotions and not our logic. And this is a lot of things what men be talking about. There has to be balance in that. No one's saying for you not to be a woman and not to, you know what I'm saying, be feminine and to, you know, to dwell in your emotions. No one's telling you that. I'm an extremely emotional person. I'm not even a water sign. I'm very emotional. But I've been learning how important it is, you know what I'm saying, to keep that balance because everything you feel ain't real. Just because you feel some type of way, don't make it what it is. Absolutely. As a man, I was the other end of this. Yet I took accountability and embraced my part and took responsibility to help raise my daughter who lives with me now. That's amazing. That's amptastic, Clarence. It's responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And that's great as you as a dude, you know what I'm saying, to take that on. And this is why I'm having this conversation. Because a lot of the mothers, you know what I'm saying, who didn't pick a dude like you, they're upset. You know what I'm saying? And and again, it's not to say that they're, you know what I'm saying, the fathers of the children don't have responsibility. It's not to say that that alleviates their responsibility. But as a woman, you have to hold yourself accountable too. I tell y'all all the time, the people you meet and you get with is your reflection. Whatever was in that person that you saw, that's in you. That's why y'all connected. So you can't speak ill and nasty and crazy about an individual that you connected to. All that shit you talking is in you too. Literally. And you let them spill that in you. If you want to get technical, all that you talking, you allow that man to spill all of that energy, the nut, all that in you, and then created a being out of it. So we have to, as women, you gotta let that shit go. You're gonna have to forgive yourself for making those decisions, and you're gonna have to love that man out over there. Because a lot of times that's what that is. You still in love with them. Let me tell you something. The other side of the hate and love are two sides of the same coin. You cannot hate somebody that you don't love. I'm sorry. You had to have a strong feeling for that person for them to be able to flip that, for them to flip that for you. I don't care what you say. That even goes outside of romance. Most people who hate other races or hate somebody for something, the way they look, what they have, whatever it is, you either want it, you know what I'm saying, or you see yourself in that, and it bothers you. Period. So when people talk about they hate white people and all this other stuff, you actually love them, and that's what you mad. That's what you hate so much because you don't want to, but you do, and it makes you angry. That's how that works. Men and women who hate each other. You're lacking the love. You wanted love from the opposite sex and they didn't give it to you. So now you turned that into hate. but all you really want is to be loved by them. All you want to be is accepted by them. That's what that is. So once you're aware of what it is, now you have the power to change it. I love y'all, ladies. I really, really do. But we have to start holding ourselves accountable too. We are raising these men, no matter how you want to spin that. If the father is not in that child's life, guess what? You are their only example. Remember that. So everything they know, everything they learn, they're learning from you. So wouldn't that make it your fault? Because again, a decision, just like he decided to lay down and nut in you, you decided to lay down and let him. And to be quite honest, if more women would take accountability for this, you can move on faster. You can't move on because you're blaming them. Because somehow you think that you don't have to make certain changes in your life. You make it seem as if you got it all together, and you don't, because you just made that decision. We got to stop playing the victim card. Really got to stop doing that. Absolutely. Moms, you are creating the men that you hate. That's what you're doing. This is why you have to make better decisions. Now, if you've already made the decision, you already made the decision, and you got the kids are here now. Okay, great. You are going to have to separate your feelings from your child's feelings, because it doesn't matter how you feel. That baby is half of that individual. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it, what they did to you or did not do to you. That baby is half of them. So all the shit you talking, it's in your kid. You created a whole being with that person. And it doesn't matter how you feel. Your child is always going to love that individual the same. I'm sorry, it don't work that way. Just because you're the mom and you think, it doesn't mean anything. Your child has the same spiritual connection to its father. His DNA is inside of him. Especially when you're talking about your boys, when we're talking about our sons. You cannot spend your whole life telling your son that his father, the man that he is trying and wants to be, ain't shit. That's not going to work for you. That's not going to turn out good for you. That shit's not cool, because what you're telling your son is to hate himself. It doesn't matter if you don't think that's what you're doing. That is what you're doing. Because your son needs to learn how to be a man. And I'm sorry, ladies, you cannot teach your son to be a man. You are not a man. You can't tell your son the feelings that he's going through when he goes through puberty. You don't know. How we go through puberty is different than how men go through puberty. You cannot tell that boy how he's feeling. You cannot teach him or tell him how to maneuver around that. You can't, because you don't know. So you cannot continue to you cannot. You can raise children, but you cannot teach that boy how to be a man. You can teach him to be responsible. You can teach him to be a good person. You can teach him to be balanced with his energy. You can teach him how to do his finance. You can make him financially literate. You can teach him respect. Absolutely. But you cannot teach that boy how to be a man, because you don't know what it is to be a man. You know what it is to resonate with one. You know what it is to, you know what I'm saying, to deal with one from a female's perspective, but you're not a man. So you cannot teach that boy how to be one. So you going off on the I hate men, you know what I'm saying, rants does not help your son at all. I'm sorry. I love y'all. I'm gonna keep going in the middle of this and throwing in the I love y'all's in there because I really do. Because this is why I'm saying this. This is whether you believe it or not. This is to help you. Just because you're not with your baby daddy does not mean that your son, you know what I'm saying, even your daughters don't have to have divine masculine in their life. And that's where, you know what I'm saying, the shit gets twisted. Somebody else had said something about how single mothers, want to be fathers too. I do both jobs. No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of women who also, they're scared of that. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to pick the right guy. You know what I'm saying? So your kids can have, you know what I'm saying, a good role model. Well, see, here's the thing. You don't have to be with a good guy for your kids to have, you know what I'm saying, good guys in their life. Women, why don't we have better relationships with men? See, we all feel like men and women we have to be fucking. Men and women can't be platonic. Men and women can't be friends. You gotta have to be with a dude, you know what I'm saying, in order to have that. And that ain't true. And I am a living example of that. Like most of the men I know are my friends. Yes, I'm in a relationship, but it took me my all the way up into my 20s to find him. Before that, brothers. These are my brothers. My mama got mad sons that she don't know about. You see what I'm saying? So I didn't have that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have that perspective of, you know what I'm saying? I was allowed to honestly learn a man's perspective through my female lenses. But because, you know what I'm saying, that wasn't the case for me, I was able to resonate with that. So this is why I'm able to overstand and want unity between us. My mother grew up as a single mom. All of my aunts were single mothers. I definitely know dudes who don't take care of their kids right now. But I've also seen the other side. I also know fathers. Most of my friends, even some of the ones that I thought wasn't gonna do what they supposed to do. I was several people, I'm not even gonna lie, that I just looked at them and judged them from where they were then and was just like, oh shit, another one. And they proved me wrong. And I am so happy about that. So happy about that. They're out there doing, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What they wasn't shown. And it's all about choices. Facts. That's why I didn't want to have arguments and emotional issues around my daughter, nor blame me or her mom of our actions. Absolutely. Like, y'all gotta understand, you can't put your feelings onto your children about the person that you chose. It's not fair and it's not right. People are humans. There are different circumstances. And again, it's all about choices. Like, I don't have children, but I did have two failed relationships. And they did me dirty, both of them. One cheated on me, you know what I'm saying, used me. The other one used me too and left me with one arm, went off, got married, and had a kid. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I picked them. Whatever energy I had going on is why I resonated with them. And to be quite honest, I was supposed to learn something. And that's what we don't do. See, we think that every relationship that we get into is supposed to be the end all and be all. Because honestly, that seems to be our MO. It's like we come into this world thinking that we're just supposed to find someone to take care of us and love us. And that's not why you're here. We're way too focused on trying to find love, trying to find somebody else to love us when you're supposed to do that for yourself. No man and no child is going to love you the way you need to be loved. I am sorry, they're human. We're flawed. Your children one day are going to have a life of their own that you're not going to be a part of. They're not your slaves. So as women, we need to practice, or at least train ourselves for a level of detachment. We need to really hone on loving ourselves so we can avoid this. A lot of women wouldn't be single moms if they cared about themselves. If you wasn't going out there searching for something else. So that's what we need to pinpoint. And again, ladies, I'm not trying to bash you. Not trying to do that. But again, y'all are out here raising these children. And what you do, what you feel, how you move is how they feel and how they move. And as you get older, you learn, you get better, but you're instilling this stuff into your kids, that hurt and that pain. You're not teaching your children, you know what I'm saying, how to constructively deal with their issues, how to deal with their choices in a healthy manner. You're not teaching them that. But then you expect them to go out in the world and just figure it out. It don't work that way. Another thing, ladies, when you talk negatively and go on and on and on and da 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 with your kids, that makes your children feel like they can do that too. And see, when they get old, see, you think that, oh, I'm your mom, so I'm just exempt from everything. It don't work that way. Your children do what you teach them. So if you teach your children that it's okay, you know what I'm saying, to be disrespectful, rude, and all of that other jazz to other people, guess what? When they get older, they're going to do that same thing to you. It's not do as I say, not as I do. I'm sorry. My grandfather was wrong with that. That's not how that works. Got another comment. I never badmouth my child's father to him. I can't say the same for his father, but my son sees my good intentions and genuine love for everyone, and I strongly believe that will overpower all. It absolutely will. It absolutely will. I can contest. My mom never said a bad thing about my dad, ever, ever. I can count on my hand how many times I've seen him. And there's not a time that, he came about or tried that my mom didn't allow me to go see him. She allowed me to make my own mind up about who he was. And an elder of hers taught her that. I have not seen this lady in a long time, so let me get her name right. Oh, I'm looking at her face and I cannot say this woman's name. I'm so sorry if your son is watching this. He'll say I cannot. Miss Mary, that's her name. Miss Mary. Miss Mary. She's an elder, and you know what I'm saying, that we grew up around. And she told my mom that. You know what I'm saying, right after she had me. Because my dad wasn't in the picture, he decided, to go off or whatever. So she told her, do not speak ill of him to her. She will grow up and she'll figure that out herself. And that was one of the best things that lady could have told my moms, because it absolutely worked. I don't have any ill issues with my dad, but because he wasn't around, we are not close. I text him on Father's Day or on his birthday and things of that nature, but him and I don't have a close relationship. And it has nothing to do with what my mother said. It has everything to do with his actions. It also helped me not hate men. You know what I'm saying? If you hear your whole life that niggas ain't shit, that's how you gonna grow up thinking. I have been exposed to men who aren't, you know what I'm saying, the right, you know what I'm saying, on the straight and narrow. I have experienced men who don't do the right thing. But that doesn't make me judge all men. I judge people as individuals about what you do and how you move, not as a whole. Another point that was made. Being a deadbeat, this phrase of being a deadbeat. There are a lot of women in the, and you know what I'm saying, who feel like deadbeat means just you not being there. There are a lot of deadbeat moms who got children right in their home. And this is why I say, ladies, you have to change your mindset about motherhood and about what your responsibilities actually are. Because you is your job to make sure that you teach your children how to live in this world. You're supposed to teach them how to be responsible. You're supposed to show them the example of being, you know what I'm saying, a responsible individual. You're supposed to provide all those things. So if you haven't taught your kids anything and they live with you, you know what I'm saying, their whole life, you're a deadbeat. You can't, you got to be realistic about this shit. And them numbers just went down on these views. I told y'all I love y'all. I told y'all wasn't gonna like this, but it's the truth. You can't do a poor job at parenting and then it's, you know what I'm saying, just because you were the only one that was there, that thinking that's something. It's not. If you got grown kids that can't take care of themselves, that's on you. Here's another point that was made that I didn't even think of. There's a lot of women who talk about their baby daddies, how they ain't shit, they don't do this, they don't provide, they don't do not. Well, if all of your support comes from the government, if you haven't done anything with your life, if you've never had a job, if you don't have education, you don't get to talk about that man. You and that man are the same. Y'all both are unemployed. Y'all both don't have an education. And y'all are both are truly not teaching your kids anything. If men had the same, if single fathers or men had the same or had access to the same resources as women do, I'm sure men would probably, there will be a lot more fathers, providing. If they can go on the line and get food stamps and WIC and cash on their EBT card, if men can go out there and do those same things, things will be different. But they don't have the same access to the same resources we do in a lot of situations. So you can't be talking that shit. And this is where the accountability comes in. You so focus on what that man is not doing instead of focusing on you, on yourself and your kids. You laid down and had them. So you are now responsible. You lay down with that person. It was a choice. We got to make better choices. We need to start loving ourselves more so we can make better choices. My first two relationships, you know what I'm saying, I was just, and now I can't even say that I was responsible enough because I wasn't responsible. My first two relationships, I wasn't even using condoms. So I like the Christians say, God looks out for babies and fools. I guess my ancestors, you know what I'm saying, was looking out for me because I absolutely should have gotten pregnant in my first two relationships. I definitely should have. But that wasn't my path. But I made those decisions based off of emotions. And could have turned out worse. So I'm not complaining, you know what I'm saying? But had I done the recon, had I had confidence in myself and who I was, I would not have dated them at all. Had I really done the recon, I would have known. And those at that time when I was with them, they were absolutely beneath me. But I didn't know who I was. I was insecure 18-year-old girl, you know what I'm saying, wanting somebody to love me because my whole life all I had was brothers. I only had dudes to like me as a friend. So, I wanted somebody to lust after me. I wanted somebody to desire me. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, I chose them because they were men who were actually giving me attention. So I didn't think to figure out what was going on with them. Are they even a good person? Just because you look good and you say the right thing, and we from the same place, because those were some of the deciding factors. I lived out here in Georgia. Both of them were from up north. So I was used to, their energy, the type of swag, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't thinking about the situations that they were in, what they actually had to offer me, the family dynamics, how they relate to their parents. One of them had children, how that situation came about, the choices that they needed to make sure that their babies were straight, how I played into all of that. I didn't think about any of those things. I finally found a guy who found me attractive, so I wasn't about to pass that up. So I was going to do whatever it is that I needed to do, you know what I'm saying, to hold on to that. And again, I was blessed. I dodged a lot of bullets, but that's not the case for some people. So I always say everything that happens to you happens for a reason. That includes you being a single mom. You raising your children on your own, there's a reason for that. Here's another thing, ladies. Your Sometimes even us as mothers, as parents, your only job is to bring that baby into this world. Like I say it all the time with my dad. My father's purpose was to give me his chromosome. I know my mom might feel different, but I'm glad that he didn't raise me because I could be crazy right now. Again, the people that you choose sometimes may not be the right parent. Maybe it's their purpose to just give the DNA and keep it moving. I learned that from David Banner. He said that about his biological father. He never met him. Well, he did meet him. He said that when he was a baby, his dad hit his mom and threatened to kill him or threatened to do something to him or something like that. He was abusive, and his mom was like, fuck that. I'm not with it. I'm out. She remarried. He had a stepdad, took care of him, all that good stuff. And for a long time, he was very angry at his biological father. Pissed. Matter of fact, somebody told him about the situation, and he had promised himself if he was to ever see him, you know what I'm saying, he was going to see about him because, I'm a man now. So, you wanted to hurt me and shit. So now what? Kind of thing. But then his mentor, he told that story to his mentor, and his mentor asked him a few questions. And the answers to those questions was his father played about 18 or 19 instruments or something like that. His father was a musical genius, which is why David Banner now is a musical genius. His father was supposed to implant that music, that talent into him and go on about his business. David Banner grew up, angry, you know what I'm saying, in the country and all that other stuff. He could have been worse. He could have turned it to his actual biological father, someone who abuses women. Had his father been around to show him that could have been a problem. He probably wouldn't be the David Banner that he is today. So again, choices and understanding your journey. Keep it real. Glad my daddy wasn't there. I'm glad my daddy was over there. I feel like I have the opportunity now to somehow, some way, maybe, what I'm saying, reach him and maybe help him some type of way because I wasn't tainted, honestly, by his energy and what he had going on. You know what I'm saying? Those flaws wasn't triggered in me because again, I am half of him. No matter what he is, I am half of him. So, ladies, we got to do better. We have to do better. And this is not And this is not about honestly saving men, it's about saving you. Those your baby, they all living out their life. I say this about other people, not even just in romance. Like when you have issues with your family or friends or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You over there upset, holding grudges, being vindictive, and doing all of that, and they're living their lives. You're the one that's miserable. You're the one that's having these feelings and feeling alone and all that. You're feeling this way. They're not. So what do you need to change so your life can change? Because their life has changed. You can say what you want about what they got going on. You can have your opinion about what they got going on all you want. But the fact of the matter is, you're the one on a day, on Father's Day, talking about that man. You are the one. He's clearly in your thoughts. Because let me tell you something. Somebody that I don't care about and don't bother me, I don't mention. Period. Only reason why I talk about my exes, you know what I'm saying, is for educational purposes only. Outside of that, I don't talk about them. There's no reason to. Now, if we swap, if I'm talking to my homegirls and we swapping stories or whatever, yeah, I'll tell you my history. But I don't spend my days or my nights thinking about and speaking about, you know what I'm saying, my past relationships. Like I said, I had a dude leave me with one arm and go get married and had a baby. I mean, yeah. But I didn't spend my time worrying about that. I don't spend my time speaking on that. I tell you all the time, what you speak, the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So if all you're doing is spitting venom and talking shit about the people that you choose to deal with, all choices, when you're an adult, you choose every individual that's in your life. It is all a choice. So if you chose to sleep with an individual that doesn't have enough self respect and couth with themselves to take care of their responsibilities, then what you need to be doing is looking in the mirror. All right, sis, what is it that is making you attract this type of person? Whatever it is, you need to fix that so this doesn't happen again. That is the attitude that we need to start having. I promise you, it will change the whole paradigm of your shit. It'll completely change, you know what I'm saying, what it is to be a single mother. Oh, there's another thing too. Defining what a single mother is. I think we get that construed as well. There's a lot of women who think that just because you're not in a relationship, that makes you a single mother. It doesn't. If your baby father is helping financially in some kind of way, you're not taking care of that child by yourself. If he picks them up and takes care of them in some form of fashion, you're not taking care of that baby by yourself. You are a single woman raising your kids. Remember that. There are a lot of women out here who truly think that because there's no man in your home, that you're a single mom and now you take on this single mom energy and the struggle and all of that. And we as black people do that. Honestly, we're the only community who does that. And we need to stop. There are no more victims in 2022. All choices. All choices. So, ladies, let's do better. Okay? You got to do better. Next Father's Day, you know what I'm saying? If it's like your mama said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. If you are still hurt by that situation, you need to go within. You need to fix that. Maybe you need to holler at my cousin, 33 master teacher, get you a reading. You know what I'm saying? Figure that out. You can holler at Misha Love, get you some Reiki done, get your energy right or something. But there are too many ways, you know what I'm saying, now to change our lives, to change our mindsets, to change your actual reality. The whole, us as a community, period, have to start holding ourselves accountable for our choices. We do things, to make us feel better because we feel like our lives are so fucked up. And then we make these decisions. I don't use the word mistakes because there are no mistakes. Your children are not mistakes. They're here because they're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But we make these decisions based off of, trying to get away from our problems. And we need to start facing our issues. You get to the root of the problem, you fix it. Okay, so let's stop doing that, ladies. Let's stop doing that. There are men and women in this world who don't do what they're supposed to do. There are men and women in this world, who just thrive over negativity. There are men and women in this world, who don't do what they're supposed to do. So you as an individual have to use your discernment. We have to now make better choices. And that's just it. We need to start rethink sex, guys. I keep telling y'all this, and I know, it sounds absurd, but you really need to think about that. Really need to, and you need to teach your kids that. Because it's clear, if you have sex, you can have a baby. So if you're not ready to have a baby, or if it's going to be a problem for you to raise that child by yourself, you shouldn't have a kid. Don't have sex. If you're not responsible enough not to let that happen. Like, I've been sleeping with the same man for 13 years. 13 years. And I have never had a scare, ever. Because we use condoms. And we don't use the excuse that we've been together 13 years, on being irresponsible. There's no excuse for that. And we make these excuses. Oh, I don't feel, I can't feel it. It don't feel different. It feel better without it and all that stuff. Okay, so you want that raw doggy. You want to feel so good, again, for them 20 minutes to an hour, but then complain 18 years, 20 years of, about a child that you now have to raise by yourself because you wanted to feel the real thing. Whose fault is that? Our aunties and our grandmas and mamas has been dealing with this, for decades. When are we going to learn? Stop repeating the same cycles. If you watched your mom struggling with you know all the things that you wanted and you needed as a kid. So why would you put yourself in that same situation? Just think about that. And being young and dumb ain't an excuse no more either. Teach your babies. If you were young and dumb and did that, teach your babies to be different. That's why I'm not upset at all that I might have to be 40 years old when I have kids. I'm fine with that. Because all the stuff, the little dumb shit that I did, my kids won't be doing. Not if I have anything to do with it. Now they're getting choices. All I can do is instill what I know. Be honest with them and put them on. You got to do that. You got to hold yourself accountable, ladies. Like, y'all don't understand. Now, to be quite honest, that'll help y'all with y'all relationship with y'all kids. Y'all don't get that. Y'all trying to hide your flaws from your children and make your children think that, y'all ain't never did shit. That's a problem. Because when they become adults, they, they go through the same things. So they're going to know you're full of shit. And then that becomes a problem because you feel like as their mother, they're not supposed to tell you that they're not supposed to let you know that you're full of shit when you are. We got to do better. As Black women, we raise these babies. We are our children's first teachers, period. Especially if you one of those women who feel like your man is supposed to provide, supposed to be out there bringing home the bacon and shit like that. Well, that leaves you to be the 24/7, you know what I'm saying, teacher. You're teaching them principles. They're learning all that from you. You can't have it both ways, ladies. You can't be praised and feel like you know what I'm saying, you are the all and be all and then don't take responsibility. I say that about black people all the time. We say we original people and all that, but don't want to take responsibility of what that means to be the original people. When you are the king, when you are the ruler, that means you are responsible. Y'all got these titles twisted. With titles comes responsibility, not just fame, not just admiration, responsibility. If you the captain of the ship, guess what? If the ship go down, you supposed to go down with it. You supposed to make sure that everybody else gets off that boat safely, even if you don't make it. What it means to be the king, that means if somebody come through and you know what I'm saying, try to take over your land, you got to get off that throne, put that sword in your hand, and you got to lead the charge. Because you are responsible for every blade of grass, every man, woman, and child in that kingdom. That's what it is, you know what I'm saying, to be the head. So you want that title mother. You bask in it. It takes more than just giving birth to a child to do that. Just like it takes more, like as you're trying to say, it takes more than just a man nutting in you to be a father. So it does the same for being as a mom. It's the same thing. So we got to do better. We have to do better. So take whatever your story is, whatever your situation is, use that as a motivation again to be better. We all make mistakes. We're all flawed. That's what life is. Life is about, trial and error, learning. That's what it's about. That's the journey. So don't beat yourself up about it, but do better. And you can't do better until you hold yourself accountable. No one changes anything that they don't think is a problem. And y'all don't think this is a problem. And that's why nothing changes. So we have to do better. Okay? You are raising sons. You're raising daughters. And they have to get along and have to resonate when they get older. Do y'all really just want more generations, you know what I'm saying, of failed relationships and broken homes and fucked up marriages and divorce? Is that what y'all really want? Because remember, I ain't got kids. These are your kids. These are your babies. Your legacy. Your children represent you. When you talk about these kids, the first thing you ask is, where's the parents? That's what you ask. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. I don't have to worry about that. If me and my man if I have children with my man, I'm gonna be good on all that. But I can promise you this, and one thing that my mom did that, you know what I'm saying, that I loved her for. She told my dad about me, told him the situation. He was, he was tripping and wasn't ready and all of that jazz. And she let him know, listen, whether you do anything or not, I'm gonna take care of my baby. It's my baby. So I'm gonna make sure she all right, whether you do it or not. I'm going to make sure she all right. And it's not so much, and I'm sure most parents said that, but when she said it in love. She didn't say it in a way, and my mama calling right now. She didn't say it in a way, in a what's the word I'm looking for? In a distasteful, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm gonna take care of my son, I'm gonna take care of my baby, fuck you. It wasn't like that. She didn't have any animosity behind it. There wasn't no vindictiveness, no pain, no none of that. It was just simply letting him know We made this baby together. I wanted her. If you don't want her, that is fine. You don't got to worry about it. Just know that. But I'm coming to you because we made this child together. You know what I'm saying? And I'm letting you know what's needed. If you ain't got it in you, cool. And she went on about her business. And my mama said, we grew up in the same home as my aunt, same abusive home. But she made different choices. And because of that, I had I had a lot of divine masculine in my life. I didn't even really get along with her husband. He wasn't even, honestly, he has been, consistent, but I've had issues with him. But outside of him, when I went to my mom's job, we worked at a farmer's market and things of that nature. All the men that were around, they took to me. I was like their little niece because of my mom's energy and the way she, she carried herself. She didn't carry around hate and anger and disdainment, for men because the man that she chose, didn't do what he's supposed to do. She didn't carry that. So that attracted positive people into her life, which in turn attracted positive people into mine. I had all types of uncles up and down Farmers Market. If you're from New York and Queens, Jamaica Avenue, I grew up in the Farmers Market. So every vendor, all the dudes there, those were like my uncles. There was a Spanish dude named Poppy. That was my Spanish granddaddy. So I got to see, and even with, even with my stepdad, we've had our issues, but he did teach me a lot of things. So I had several examples, of masculinity around me, even though my dad wasn't there. My mom had a certain energy and she brought men into my life that, that were good for me in a certain ways. Some not. But for the most part, yeah. It's one of the reasons why I don't have that attitude towards men, no matter how many times, I go through relationships or whatever. I don't have this, automatic, hate for dudes because my moms didn't instill that in me. You know what I'm saying? And that's going and ladies, you got to understand that about your daughters. Again, your babies are going to go out in this world without you. And they have to deal with the opposite sex regardless. What does that look like? You need to think about that. Once you have these babies, honestly, how you feel and what's right for you goes out the window. It's about your babies. It is what it is. You got to change your mindset. A lot of y'all keep going through relationship after relationship again because you won't change your energy. You're bringing old energy into new situations. You got to detox yourself from that. You got to heal from that. We was just talking about that, on our Childhood Trauma podcast about healing yourself before you get into a relationship. Heal from your traumas. Heal from that last, situation. Again, you got to hold yourself accountable to do that. But you don't. You're blaming the other person. So this is why you can't figure out how to go another way to find somebody different. You keep attracting the same thing. And we was talking about that last night on Sundays with Spirit. You got to check yourself. And it's not about, again, beating up on you or giving them a pass. That's not what that means. And I feel like a lot of y'all translate that. If I'm taking the blame, that means he's not to blame. It's not about blame. Honestly, it's both y'all's fault. It take two to tango. He didn't nut it himself. Y'all did it together. So you can't just blame him. And just like he can't just blame you. You know what I'm saying, ladies? Again, I love y'all. And I say this to dudes too on their end about how they talk about their baby mamas and da. You picked her. Maybe if you thought about trying to figure out what's in her brain instead of looking at her ass and her titties, you know what I'm saying, and her made up face, If you stop picking females based off the way they look, you might get it. See what I'm saying? Choices. It's all about choices. Choices. Choices, choices, choices. So let's make better choices. Stop blaming other people for your choices. So again, like the meme said, do not bash. You shouldn't be bashing your baby daddy on any day. You shouldn't bash your baby mama on any day because you picked them. You made the conscientious choice to sleep with and sleep with irresponsibly with this individual. So you can't talk shit about that individual because y'all both made the same decision. So whatever you're saying about them, you're saying about yourself. Ladies, y'all don't understand, honestly, how unattractive that looks. I'm going to go out there and say that. When you go on these rants and oh la 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 la, it says more about you than the man. You're completely not getting your point across. What you're trying to achieve, you're not achieving. It makes you look bad, especially when your kids are grown and you still on that shit. Kids 20 and some change and you still on that shit. That says a lot about you. Clearly, you're stuck in the past. Clearly, you have not been living your life. And that's not attractive to men. Why do you think a man would want to deal with you when all you think and talk about is the other men that you've been with? How can you possibly expect a man to want to deal with you and to be around you when your first MO is when you get upset or you feel some type of way, you think that you can emasculate them. You think you can curse them out and say whatever you want and this is that and the third. A lot of that energy is why dudes don't be around. And you can't just say, well, this is your child, so you have to deal with that. No, they don't. They don't. Guess what? They can leave. They can leave you holding that bag. No matter how mad you are, they can leave. So you need to think about that. Nobody is obligated to deal with your shit. Nobody is obligated to deal with your attitude or your lack of knowledge. No one has to deal with that. So ladies, we need to start checking ourselves. A lot of it. Because we're bringing these babies into this world. We run this shit, whether y'all think so or not. Men do what they do, act the way they act, do all the things that they do just to attract us. Period. We need to start taking control over that. Stop being a victim. It's the difference between being submissive and being a victim. You can be submissive to your man and however that works without playing the victim. I'm a very strong-minded individual. Can't nobody tell me to do shit. Can't nobody make me do shit. I don't care who you are. Ask my mama. Can't make me do nothing I don't want to do. But I'm also very sensitive in my relationship. He is the king of my castle, and he don't even live here. That doesn't take away, you know what I'm saying, from me and who I am. If I don't like some shit, I say it. See what I'm saying? Like, we got to do better. Dear mothers, your sons are not your man. Stop making them treat you as if they're one and they're one and only. Ashe. Ashe. This is a mother of a son. Y'all do that. Your sons are not your man. They can't be. I'm sorry. And again, it goes back to choices. A lot of y'all get in failed relationships, have these children, and instead of you, again, holding yourself accountable and changing some of your ways so you can actually find a man, you just settle for, I got my kids. My kids are gonna love me, but I'm sorry. Your sons once they you can't give your sons what another woman can. I'm sorry. You can't have their babies. You know what I'm saying? If you do cook and clean for them and all that, they're a mama's boy now. They're not real men. You're not doing them no favor. Like you, there's no way around that, and that's not fair to your sons that they now have to stifle their life because you decided not to be a better person. So you can find romance or, you know what I'm saying, or relationship or somebody to occupy your time. Because that's what it is. Because if you had a man, you wouldn't be stunting them. That's the first thing he said. No, mama gotta have a life too now. I done raised my kids. See, that's how it is if you had somebody, but since you don't, now you expect them to include you in everything. That's not how this works. You have children and you raise them in the nest, and then one day they leave the nest. Your children are not supposed to honestly help you through your 40s and your 50s and shit like that and your social life. That's not what your children are here for. They're supposed to take care of you when you can't. And then that depends on how you took care of them. You don't get the automatic, like I think y'all really think that. You don't just automatically, you know what I'm saying, get the good life at the end. It don't work that way. What you do, you know what I'm saying, in your youth, it comes back. So you can, you know what I'm saying, be negative and toxic, you know what I'm saying, and abusive. You can't be all those things their whole lives and then expect when they get older to just look past all of that and just look at this at the sense that I'm your mother. I gave birth to you. That ain't how that works. Because guess what? Fathers can say the same thing, no matter how you spin that. I'm still your father. You still wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for me. And those are facts. We're not asexual, ladies. We can't have baby. You can't. We used to be. That's a whole nother story. But you need that sperm. You need it. So without those two things, those are the things that makes babies. Y'all too fucking. No way around that. So, ladies, I love y'all. I promise you that I do. I promise you that I do. But we got to do better. We have to hold ourselves accountable. This is why I call myself an accountability coach instead of a life coach. Because there are different life paths, there are different lifestyles. But holding yourself accountable for your shit, that's universal. And it's the key, honestly, to what it is that we're looking for in this life. Because everybody is doing this instead of doing this. If everybody truly was checking themselves and trying to be their best selves, can you imagine what the world would be like? Just think about that. If you actually, considered someone else's feelings and the future and things of that nature before you make decisions. If we wasn't getting into relationships to be selfish, just to find somebody to give us something, what would the world look like? Just think about that. I love y'all. We're not going to have an ideal world, but we can absolutely make some changes. Because if we all again work on our own individual universes, the omniverse, what I'm saying, will be grand. And you don't understand how letting this stuff go and making these changes, how much peace you'll bring to your life. It's just like rehab. It's just like going through a detox. When you go to rehab after being on drugs all that time, it's a painful process going through withdrawal. It's a very painful process. Your body has to be rid of that, and it takes a while. Just like it took you all that time to put it in there, it's gonna take time for it to come out. So it's the same thing with your mindset. You feeling the way you've been feeling and thinking the way you've been thinking about this. You've been telling yourself this the whole time you know what I'm saying, your children been alive. And this is what you've consistently fed yourself. So now you have to reprogram. And again, this is not to take away fault where fault is due. Everybody has their place, and everybody, the energy, again, I said the energy you put out is the energy you get back. So if the father of your child is not doing what he's supposed to do, guess what? He gonna pay for that. He gonna pay for that. You don't need to have no dealings with how that works. You don't need to be, you know what I'm saying, wanting to see the karma. I'm telling y'all, those negative thoughts fucks up your life, not theirs. There is never ever a time where you wishing bad on somebody is going to work out for you. I don't care what they did to you. Never going to work out for you. Negative thoughts breed negative manifestations. Period. Don't care what the catalyst is behind it. So, if you ask your God, Buddha, the ancestors, whoever it is you pray to, you know what I'm saying? Ask them for that forgiveness so you can forgive these individuals and forgive yourself. Because that's really what you really need to do is forgive yourself for making that choice. Understand that it was a part of your journey. Understand that it was needed. That this is just a part of your lessons. That's the mindset that I will continue to push. I don't understand everything that happens to you happens for a reason. It's supposed to teach you something. And if you saw it that way, you would have more peace. Being a single mother, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't be this badge of, you know what I'm saying, or this stain of struggle. Like do you know that no other nationality that I know of talks about or embraces, you know what I'm saying, this concept like we do? I don't see white people going back and forth about your baby daddy and BM. I don't. Especially not the ones, you know what I'm saying, that got bread. I don't see, and not to say that they don't have these problems, but that's not something that they, you know what I'm saying, outwardly and publicly, you know what I mean, display. They don't do that. It's just this new generation and us. And it's not cool. This is why we can't unite. This is why even though white folk will kill their mother for some bread, but they'll also stick together, you know what I'm saying, and oppress the masses. That's what we don't do. We can't seem to find that middle ground no matter what we got going on. We still don't find the value in each other, you know what I'm saying, to stick together. We talk about what we want all the time, how we want this and we want that, but no one is really truly willing to do their part in changing it. You're waiting for somebody else to do it. You're waiting for men to be better instead of you being better so you can choose better men. Because all men aren't bad. All men aren't irresponsible. All men aren't doing those things. You are just connecting with the people, with the men that are. So again, back to you. Why are you attracting the deadbeats? Why are you attracting, you know what I'm saying, the men that don't want to get a job? Why are you attracting this type of man? And it goes on both scales. I would say the same thing to men. Keep talking about them bald head scallywags. Why do you keep attracting them? Why do you keep entertaining those type of women? Accountability, guys. We're adults out here. And if you want your children not to make the same mistakes, you're gonna have to address that. You have to start being honest with yourselves and your children. That's the only way things are going to change. So I love y'all. Keep saying I'm gonna let y'all go, so I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate y'all time and y'all energy. Ladies, I love y'all. I know y'all mad at me. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we call tough love. Think about what I said. Just think about it. Let it roll through your brain a little bit. Then look at your baby's faces and tell me that you know what I'm saying, a change is not needed. It's for your babies. It's for your legacy. They are your legacy. Your babies. All right. So of course, guys, you know that you can find this show on Amspire Media Network, on Roku or Roku TV. Make sure you download, go to the streaming channels on your Roku and go to search and type in Amspire Media, and we will pop up. You will have all this inspiration in your home, on your couch, with the popcorn and all that good stuff. And of course, I'm gonna come through with the come through and telling y'all my simple truths on Tell True Vision. I still have not figured out a specific day, so you know I'm gonna be popping up like I do. I already have another topic to talk about, so I'll probably pop up next week with that one. But yes, you're gonna get the unadulterated, unapologetic, loving truth. Inspire interviews. I really love this podcast because I meet the most amazing people and I love being able to share them, their talents with you. So we have our next episode is on June 24th. Yep, that's on Friday. We're going to have Matthew Santana, who is a serial entrepreneur. He's definitely got something that you need. So if you're an entrepreneur, content creator, anybody that has an online business of any sort, if you're an author and you need your book published and things of that nature, he is the man, to talk to. So we're going to have him here on Friday night at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune in, get excited. And of course, a new time, a new day, and a new face. Soul Sister Therapy Childhood Trauma Podcast is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. That is Tuesdays at 8 p.m. This is where, we tackle these childhood traumas. Last week's episode was freaking amazing. Like I said, we were talking about healing before you enter into a relationship. This Tuesday coming up, we're going to be talking about the differences between relationships, twin flame and karmic relationships. See, everybody gets those mixed up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants their significant other to be their twin flame, but a lot of times those are karmic relationships that were sent that we need to learn the lessons we need to learn. Definitely ties into what I was talking about today. So make sure y'all tap in on Tuesday at 8 p.m. so we can talk about that. Our sister Quita, Scorpio Sun, will be heading up that topic. All right. What else we got? And of course, Sundays with Spirit, 33 Master Teacher. Love her. Make sure the new episode is on Roku right now. So make sure you go watch it. We were talking about the mind, the body, and the soul last night and how its alignment is much needed, you know what I'm saying, for you to reach where you're supposed to go. So make sure you catch us every Sunday night, 9 p.m., the 33 Master Teacher, to get, to get right with spirit. Getting right with spirit. What else we got going on? And yes, if you are a content creator, if you have a podcast, if you're a music artist, anything of that nature, make sure that you hit us up. If you need advertising, like I said, email at amspirecontent999@yahoo.com. That's amspirecontent999 at yahoo.com. We want your content. We are, we are going to be we are the change. We are the change of media. We are going to bring spirituality to TV. You ain't going to see nothing. Netflix, Hulu, all that's going to be completely different situation. And that's what I'm looking for. For us, by us, no censorship, and just amazing talent. That's what I'm looking for. So if that's you, hit us up. Let's get you on the channel. Again, get excited. All right, that's all I got, guys. That's all I got for you. I love, love, love y'all again, ladies. Don't hate me. I love y'all. I love y'all. I do. But I'll see y'all next time. Enjoy your day. Be inspired.